Hi everybody, welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles, and in this week's news, according to Oxford Township Clerk Curtis Wright, the absentee voter ballots went out this week, so keep an eye on your mail for those. A jury has been selected as of Wednesday for the historic case of Jennifer Crumbley, and a foundation has been established from a mother honoring her son. All that and more on this week's edition of Oxford News This Week. After 2 full days of heated questioning, a jury was seated Wednesday in the historic case of Jennifer Crumbley, the first parent in America to be charged and tried in a mass school shooting. The panel of 12 jurors and 5 attendees, alternates, including 10 women and 7 men, most of them parents, including multiple gun owners and hunters, who will be tasked with determining whether Crumbley is responsible for the deaths of 4 students killed by her son in 2021 at the Oxford High School shooting. Both sides delivering their opening statements to the jury. Jennifer Crumbley's manslaughter trial continued on Friday, with Judge Cheryl Matthews saying she will prohibit the defense from calling her son, school shooter Ethan Crumbley, to the stand because he intends to plead the Fifth Amendment on the stand. Ethan Crumbley's attorney has also said that they asserted privileges over his medical records, keeping them from being admitted as evidence. Ethan Crumbley, who was a 16-year-old at the time of the shooting, I think he was 15, was sentenced to life without parole in December after he pled guilty to 24 charges, including first-degree premeditated murder and terrorism causing death in connection with the 2021 shooting at the Oxford High School, which left 4 students dead and 7 others injured. Jennifer and James Crumbley, the parents, are each facing 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for alleged roles in the shooting. On Thursday, it was revealed that Jennifer Crumbley intends to take the stand in her own defense, according to her attorney, Shannon Smith. Jennifer Crumbley pled not guilty to all charges in December of 2021. A separate trial for her husband, James Crumbley, will also face 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter that will begin in March. The trial is a rare case of parents being charged in connection to a child's mass shooting. If you have to go to the Oxford Township Hall this week, you will see the clerk's office staff working diligently on absentee voter ballot requests and stuffing ballots into envelopes. The presidential primary election in Michigan is February 27th, and the Oxford Township Clerk Curtis Wright and his staff are working diligently to process stacks of absentee voter ballot requests, register new voters, and prepare for the upcoming election. As of January 1st, in Oxford Township, including the village of Oxford, there were nearly 18,000 registered and over 7,000 absentee voters, leaving over 10,000 voting in person at a precinct location. They could, however, request an absent voter ballot between now and the election day. According to Clerk Wright, absentee voter ballots will arrive in voters' mailboxes soon. The Oxford Downtown Development Authority's proposed financing and development plan is up for renewal, and the public downtown business owners and taxing authorities will have a chance to weigh in on the plan in February. The Oxford Village Council will hold a public hearing during its meeting on February 13th to hear input on the proposed development and tax increment financing plan, which is also known as the TIF. The plan is for 20 years from 2024 to 2044 and sets the goal and projects for the DDA, the boundaries of the development area, and the tax capture revenues for the DDA. The development area of the plan consists of the downtown core, which includes the properties and the immediate adjacent areas on the east and west sides of M24. The TIF plan establishes how the DDA is funded. The DDA's tax capture is the increase on taxable value of properties in its district since the DDA was created in 1986. Properties that are in the DDA district are not taxed at a higher rate because they are in the DDA district. The DDA is working on adding additional crosswalks downtown, redoing sidewalks on Burdick Street, adding additional place-making areas, adding lights to the tops of downtown businesses, and working to become a trail community. The Oxford Village Council scheduled 2 public hearings for February 13th and had a lengthy conversation on possible ways to address concerns about parking in the northeast quadrant of the downtown at its first meeting in 2024. The public hearing will be for the Public Purchasing Ordinance and the Downtown Development Authority Tax Increment Financing Plan. The Council approved the second reading of the amended purchasing ordinance at its meeting on January 9th. The DDA has been working with the community planning and designing consulting company McKenna to update its TIF plan. The plan itself essentially lays out the goals and objectives of the Oxford DDA moving forward, which includes economic vitality, design, promotion, and organization, as well as establishing the taxing jurisdiction. And hopefully you haven't gotten caught up in this. A section of the Indianwood Road will be closed between Joslyn Road and Lapeer Road, M24, in Orion Township from January 16th through March 11th for a private utility relocation. Gas main communications line, said the Oakland County Road Commission in a press release. The Road Commission had originally scheduled this to begin January 8th. This utility work is in preparation for the 2024 replacement of the culverts that carries the road over Paint Creek. The closure is between Fernhurst Drive and Absaguami Trail. Residential access will be maintained east and west of the closure. The detour for the through traffic is Joslyn Road to Clarkston Road to Lapeer Road and then back to Indianwood Road and vice versa. The road will be open from mid-March until early May, when it will again be closed for public utility relocation, water and sewer, and the culvert replacement work. The work is expected to be completed and the road reopened in October. Wow, that's going to be a long summer. The project involves replacing the failing metal culverts, which was originally installed in 1959, with a concrete culvert, as well as storm sewers and drainage improvements and new pavement over the new culvert. The project will cost $2.4 million and is being paid for by the Oakland County Road Commission and the Orion Township. This section of Indianwood Road carries approximately 8,000 vehicles a day. For additional information about the project, visit the project page on the RCOC website, which is www.rcocweb.org, under the Road Projects button on the home page, and select the Indianwood Road Culvert Replacement over Paint Creek. That's a mouthful. According to information from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, a 60-year-old homeless man died in Lake Orion Township last week after being exposed to bitter cold temperatures overnight. The wind chill was minus 17 degrees, according to the National Weather Service. Oakland County Sheriffs discovered the man under a blue tarp after being sent to a local call. The department would like to remind listeners there are warming centers in Orion Township. The Orion Center at 1335 Joslyn Road serves as a warming center during the business hours, and Hope Hospitality and Warming Center at 249 Baldwin Avenue in Pontiac welcomes homeless adults in need of safe shelter and support services from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. That's according to the Oakland County website, www.oaklandcountyresources.org. For additional information on Hope Shelters, visit hopeshelters.org. Another mouthful. Separate segments behind the lens is a nice photo days after the drivers finding it hard on icy back roads. The dirt roads are literally ice, and worse than that for drivers. Up next is Dave Kenny. He'll be doing Auto Talk and Science in the News. Don't go away.
Women are bad with money.
That's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. Chevrolet is giving its best-selling crossover a more rugged makeover for the 2025 model year as it looks to attract more buyers in a competitive and growing segment. The Equinox, Chevrolet's #2 nameplate in the U.S., is gaining an off-road inspired active trim and a truck-like stance shared with other Chevy crossovers. Production of the 4th generation Equinox is expected to begin mid-year at General Motors' San Luis Potosi plant in Mexico, Chevrolet said. Pricing was not disclosed, and the 2025 Equinox is 2.3 inches wider than its predecessor, Chevy said. Brand leaders say the redesigned Equinox elevates Chevrolet's offering in the compact crossover segment, a necessary move for other brands give their entries more technology and updated styling. With the Equinox update, all of Chevrolet crossovers, including the Trax, Trailblazer, Blazer, and Traverse, will be less than 2 years into their latest life cycle. Chevrolet did not release volume expectations for the 2025 Equinox, but Brad Frentz, Chevrolet car and crossover marketing director, said officials expected to remain the brand's second best-selling nameplate in the U.S. after the Silverado full-size pickup. When U.S. Equinox sales began in 2004, the compact crossover segment had 11 nameplates totaling 747,800 sales. Last year, it had grown to 20 nameplates with 2.6 million sales. Compact crossovers make up 16.5% of the light vehicle market, according to the data center, nearly a full percentage point higher than in 2022. The Equinox accounted for over 212,700 U.S. sales last year, behind the Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, and Nissan Rogue. This segment remains extremely competitive, France says. We're very aware that we are dealing with everyone's top seller as well. So it's incredibly important for us to be bringing a new Equinox to the market at this point, he says. The redesigned Equinox will launch in 3 trims. The LT that Chevrolet expects to represent about 60% of sales, the Sporty RS with a flat bottom steering wheel and 19 or 20-inch wheels, and the off-road styled Active with all-terrain tires on 17-inch wheels. It brings with the segment a customer that wants the aesthetic look and capability, said Jeff McDonald, the Equinox's chief engineer. That could be some conquest for us. You see a lot of our competitors doing that. The base LT comes with chrome and high-gloss black grille finishes and 17-inch wheels and 19-inch wheels optional. The Equinox's 1.5-liter turbo engine carries over, generating 175 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque in front-wheel drive and 203 pound-feet of torque in all-wheel drive, Chevy said. The engine now is paired with 2 transmission options, a continuously variable transmission with front-wheel drive and an 8-speed automatic that's available on all-wheel drive models. The RS and Active come with selective driving modes for first time, including a snow mode on front-wheel drive variants and off-road mode with all-wheel drive. Chevrolet said the Equinox allows as much as 63.5 cubic inch of storage when both second-row seats are folded, as well as a hidden space under the cargo floor. The Equinox's design cues are bold, expressive, and tough, said Sam Bell, lead designer at Chevy. He goes on to say it's wider than the last generation Equinox, so you just automatically get that cool, strong, planted stance. On the inside, the 2025 Equinox has an 11.3-inch infotainment touchscreen, which Chevrolet says is bigger than 30% bigger than the largest screen on the outgoing model, paired with an 11-inch driver information screen, along with Google built-in capability. An electronic transmission selector is located on the steering column to open up additional storage below the center screen, which is like knocking down half a wall in your kitchen, Bell said. The Chevrolet expanded the vehicle's standard safety and driver assistant content, adding to all trim levels features such as enhanced automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, forward collision alert, and front pedestrian and bicyclist braking. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Back with you on Oxford News this week. On the bowling front, Oxford doing well. Both the girls and boys varsity bowling teams competed in the 2024 Oakland County Championships on the 13th of January. The girls team finishing up in second place. The boys team competed against 26 teams. The girls faced off at 25. Several teams were unable to attend due to weather conditions. Girls bowling, the girls were solid in qualifying, ended up with a 5th seed. Qualifying consisted of 3 full team games, 4 Baker games during the qualifying. Senior co-captain Kylie Penzian led the way with a 573 series and a 239 game, earning her 2 medals when the bracket play started. The Wildcats faced off against her 12th seed Hazel Park. Bracket play was the total score for 2 Baker games. The Wildcat girls beat the Vikings by a mere 3 pins. That's how close it was. They then beat Walled Lake by a number of 4 seed at 318 to 294. This actually pitted the Cats against their OAA rival, 8th seeded Clarkston. Oxford won 333 to 301 to advance into the finals against Bishop Foley, a 2 seed. In the finals, the Wildcats got off a big lead, winning 1 by 23 pins, and the talented Bishop Foley team shot 223 the game at 144 to capture the title. Let's jump over to the other side with the boys. The boys came out of the gate rolling well in their qualifying portion. They held the number 1 seed for most of the day and ended up the day as a 2nd seed behind Waterford Mott. 2 of the Wildcats awarded medals. Jacob Kamana, that's how you say it, medaled twice at 255, the game at 644. Jacob Chenard also medaled with a fine 672 series. The Cats faced off against the young, talented Lakeland team in round 1. Lakeland came home with a 222 to Oxford's 202 and held a 20-point lead. The teams went back and forth in the next game. The Wildcats won 195 to 193. Wildcats didn't match up the 20-pin deficit, though. Wildcats have won the title the past 2 years. Congratulating them, not only us, but their own coach, J.R. Laffner, who coaches both teams. I want to say congratulations to junior basketball player Allison Huffstedler on being named the Student Athlete of the Month. That's actually for the month of December and January. We're a little lax on that, but we will be bringing these to you. She has a strong season so far, doing really well out on the court for the Lady Wildcats. Again, some of them games we've been there filming. Watch for them to appear on OCTV. Once again, congratulations to Allison Huffstedler. Again, we wish you well as being Athlete of the Month. Stay tuned. Coming up, Dave Kenny has more. I'll close the news out at the end. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. In 2023, a paper was published in the journal Blood that ended a mystery stretching back 4 decades. It detailed the existence of a new blood type first proposed in the 1980s, and of which there are now 45 to date. This particular discovery was born from tragedy. A baby died suddenly shortly after birth. Its mother was subsequently discovered to have a blood type or group that had never been identified before, whereas the baby had inherited its father's. The two blood groups interacted in a rare way that led to a fatal inflammatory response. It reflects a long-standing mystery of the human body, just how many blood types there really are and how this part of our physiology will evolve in the future. We are making headway. Our recently improved understanding of the differences in our blood is helping to make transfusion safer and even starting to reveal how your blood group influences your health. Blood types are distinguished by what kind of antigens are attached to the red blood cells and what kind of antibodies are in the surrounding plasma. The 4 most common blood groups are A, B, O, and AB, which relate to the combinations of antigens and antibodies, but delve a little deeper, and there is an astonishing complexity. Currently, the 45 blood types represent more than 390 different antigens and antibodies, with new discoveries being made all the time. This variation is due to the ongoing battle that exists between humans and the pathogens around us, all of which would like to latch on to our red blood cells and invade our bodies. In particular, the Plasmodium parasites responsible for malaria are thought to have driven many of these differences. Nicole Thornton at NHS Blood and Transplant, which looks after blood donation services in England, highlights the Duffy antigen, which can be used as an entry point by Plasmodium parasites, meaning that humans who have evolved with a Duffy negative blood type are relatively resistant to malaria. Blood type group O also has a massive advantage against life-threatening malaria, says Thornton. Other links between blood type and health have been reported, as have more spurious claims that your blood group also influences your personality and behavior. Well, this is bad news on the latter. Contrary to what you might have heard, your blood type doesn't affect your sexual prowess, nor is there good evidence that it is linked to personality. Claims that you should eat certain foods based on your blood type are also unproven. However, there are several studies that suggest people without an O group blood type are at a 12% increased risk of heart disease, possibly due to factors affecting blood clotting. People with blood group A are thought to be more susceptible to gastric cancers, possibly because the Heliobacter pylori bacteria that drive the disease are more capable of latching onto the stomach lining. Likewise, people with blood type O appear to be more protected against both gastric and pancreatic cancers. Other links will no doubt be discovered in time. With the decreasing cost of genetic analysis, it will soon be possible for everyone to have their blood group profiled and stored on their mobile phone, predicts Connie Westhoff at the New York Blood Center. It's the next frontier for blood transfusions, she says. There's 11 or 12 different antigens which are the most likely to cause a negative outcome with a transfusion, so people will be able to precisely be matched for those. But it will inevitably be an ongoing race to perfect this knowledge. We're always going to discover new blood groups because humans evolve and we change, says Thornton. As a species, being different and having diversity is absolutely key to our survival. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
On October the 4th, my daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. When I received the diagnosis with my daughter, my hope was gone. When we first made it to St. Jude, my baby couldn't sit up on her own at all. The tumor had pressed up against her spine to the point where it basically paralyzed her. She couldn't feel her feet or anything like that. And just to see her start to make those steps after treatment, take your time, one step at a time.
Take my time. Take my time. We rise up.
Good job, baby.
I like the way I rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
It was just like a miracle. It was amazing. I was like, thank God for St. Jude.
Bring it. Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home.
Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one? I gotta go eat, man. Sorry. I'll see you later.
And once again, in our last story, a foundation establishing by a mother honoring her son, coupled with the Fort County Community Foundation, who created the fund in honor of the memory Justin Schilling, one of 4 students who actually died in the 2021 Oxford High School shooting. The fund is called For the Love of Nature Fund. It aims at honoring Schilling's memory and love for the out of doors while supporting conservation efforts. Justin's mother, Jill Suave, said in a press release that when she began to think of ways to memorialize her son and the happy memories and for his love of nature, the foundation provides services to villages, cities in southeastern Lapeer County, western St. Clair County, northern Macomb County, northeastern Oakland County. The Fort County Community Foundation Executive Director Kathy Dickens and the Fort County Community Foundation is pleased to hold the fund and for the purpose that it stands for, continuing Justin's love and the service for the environment. Justin's mother said she hopes For the Love of Nature Fund can accomplish many things, including planting trees in Justin's name, hosting a local cleanup event day, and supporting clean water and air initiatives, partially ones related to the Great Lakes. She also envisions that many of those events are being open to the community involvement and inclusive to all people. Plans are already being made for a walkathon for the event in May, which would take place on the Pollyant Trail, located in Oakland County. People who would like to donate and help for the Love of Nature Fund, you can do so by visiting, the forthelovefund.org or send a check to the Fort County Community Foundation at P.O. Box 539, Elmont, Michigan 48003. Good stuff there. Hopefully you can make a contribution. That's going to wrap the news up. Terry again started it. I'm going to finish it out. We thank the news gathering sources of the Oakland Press, the Oxford Leader, the many Oxford Facebook page, also the many contributors to this newscast. Oxford Community Television can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99 on the AT&T UVerse system, YouTube, Rumble, and even on Roku. OCTV programming can be seen there as well. OCTV is also available for local groups producing public service announcements. If you have a show idea, maybe you would like to volunteer, give our office a call, 248-628-9658. Thank you to producer Kyle Stage and the Master Control Program Coordinator Connie Miller, Station Manager Terry Stiles. I'm Jim Hughes, closing out another edition, and I invite you back next week when again we will take a look at Oxford News This Week.